In this video I will be playing against 3 other Grandmasters with an incredible Blizzard setup. So make sure to stay tuned because the match is going to be epic. I'm the second player to go, and before green, so I think I should add my troops to South America and go for it. Or do you think he would fight with me for it? Well, actually I didn't even notice at first, but it seems the green player almost got the whole Africa. So yeah, I think I'm safe to go for it. Next turn it will be captured by me completely. And the green player obviously goes for Africa as I predicted. Then the blue player is going to get Australia, and the purple player seems to be the most unlucky over here. Of course he could go for Europe, but he would probably get targeted because foregoing of the biggest continent, but on the other hand if he doesn't go for any continent at all, then he will become the weakest of us all, and then probably he still would get taken out first. So unless he gets to have very strong alliances with some of us, then he would actually highly be benefited by being the one with the biggest continent. Also another possibility for other players to not be targeting purple, is if someone appears even as a bigger threat. Like for example if I tried capturing both of the Americas soon, then the players would be definitely targeting me, so then I would be the player to get eliminated first. So this is why I'm not planning to be in a rush of trying to capture both of the Americas, as if I do that too early, then I can end up being in the worst situation ever. These Blizzards made this match to be the game with 3 Australias, and by Australias I mean there are 3 continents with only 1 border to guard each. In terms of troops, the green player has the advantage because he get 3 troops for his continent instead of 2, but when it comes to the position-wise, then I'm the most lucky over here because I could potentially hold both of the Americas with only 2 borders to guard. The green player could eventually capture and hold Europe plus Africa, but then he would need 3 borders to guard, and let's not forget that firstly either the purple player must be defeated, or he must go to somewhere else, but I don't think any of these scenarios happening soon. So the green player, whether wanting or not, will have to stay only with Africa for some time. And finally for the blue player it would be the most hard to expand. The green player keeps his army on the Middle East, so there's no way the blue player gets Asia. So I think I have the best odds to win the game as of now as long as the purple player doesn't get to hold Europe. But I mean these players I'm playing with are Grandmasters, so even if I captured both of the Americas with properly guarding both of the borders, then they could just simply team up in case there would be too hard to invade me for one person alone. So since my opponents are Grandmasters, then maybe the green player is the most lucky one since he gets 1 troop more. But no guys, I think the position still matters more than getting 1 more troop. So far I'm thinking to help the blue player attacking purple, so we could eliminate the 4th player who is not really needed in the game. But at the same time I'm considering another idea as well. What if I don't attack purple but differently, team up with him, so I could potentially hold both of the Americas while he could hold Europe? Well, the green player has just put quite a lot of troops to North America. So I guess I wouldn't be able to get North America for a while either way. That's a good thing that he split some troops to purple's Europe too, as the more armies you have, the more likely more of your troops will get crushed. So it's kinda risky for the green player to do that in the beginning of the game, as let's imagine the purple player crushes one of his armies, then I crush one of his armies too, and then the blue player finishes him off. So not necessarily the purple player could end up being eliminated first now, even though he is the weakest. And that's what I've been talking about, the purple player by seeing that it might be his last opportunity decided to try taking Africa from green. Unfortunately the purple player didn't get an amazing blitz roll, but he has still stolen Africa from green. The blue player continues targeting him, so unfortunately it's the game over for him, but I will admit that it was worth it a try. Basically he couldn't do anything better when everyone else got continents with 1 border to guard each. Well, he could have probably sent me an alliance request and tried teaming up with me on green, only attacking green after I had crushed green's army firstly, but I mean I don't know whether I would have agreed to team up on green. But yeah, after all the blue player would have still been the one to decide which player to eliminate, whether green or purple. At the end it doesn't really make much difference, Well, it kinda does, as the green player was trying to prevent me from capturing North America. But on the other hand, it probably indicates that he is willing to make a lot of attacks rather than to turtle, and that's good to have such a player in the game, because the game will be challenging, or at the very least should be not boring. So yeah, what should I do now after we got rid of purple? The blue player says attack my territory if you need to, and attack the green player too, probably indicating that he wants me to capture North America, letting him capture Europe, so then we could equally team up on green. But the thing was that the green player's turn was after mine, so I didn't want that he would have targeted me. That would have possibly given some advantage to blue, so I decided not to capture North America that turn, but now I will probably do after the blue player capturing Europe. I just don't know why the blue player has unleashed green's army on purpose. Is it just for the safety measures in case I decide to betray him straightly, or that the green player by invading us would crush some of my troops in case I don't strongly guard them, so I would lose quite more troops than blue since he doesn't guard Europe at all? But whichever reason it was, I overcame it by properly guarding both of the borders. The green player's army was only unleashed from the left side when it comes to attacking into North America, so this is why I left more troops on Greenland rather than on Alaska. The blue player could have betrayed me though, by attacking me through Asia and taking over South America, which is probably the best when it comes to these one-border continents, but as you can see, he is staying as a loyal ally. While I decided not to be such a good man and invade him into Europe, since I noticed that I'm very close to having as many troops as both of them combined. I didn't know what was the chat phrase of the week, but after opening the chat phrases window I noticed that it was nice move, and I think it was a perfect phrase to use it in this situation. But to be honest, I realized that I should have fortified some more troops to my Kamchatkan army, as the Icelandic army was much safer without having any of the blue player armies connected. The blue player was so lucky to get a set at 3 cards, so he got to invade me with ease. But even if he had gotten the worst possible blitz roll ever and failed, then the green player would have been able to invade me next turn anyways, as the blue player was smart enough to unleash his blocked Australian army. The blue player probably realizes that South America is the best out of the small continents too, since it's the easiest to expand having it, because of North America only having 2 borders to guard while you have South America, so this is why he probably exchanged Africa to South America, and if we remember back then when he attacked purple into Africa, he decided to keep Africa too rather than going back to Australia, as I highly believe he realizes that Australia is the worst out of these 3 small continents with these blizzards too. So I mean, everything can happen, but most likely it won't be no Australia. No win this time. The most likable player to win is the one with South America, but the African player has decent chances too. Well, at least I assume that someone most likely is going to win by capturing and successfully holding either both of the Americas, or Africa plus Europe, with the other players failing to invade either of them. Well, not necessarily. The game will end up in this way, as we might attack each other as much as possible, so then one weak player might get unlucky to not get a set at 4 cards and be taken out with even 5 of them. And of course there always stays the possibility for 2 players to team up mutually in regards of getting rid of the third one and hoping to have an equal endgame. So all of the players have the chances to win, but because of the position, South American and African players have slightly bigger odds to win. As let's remember, the Australian player not only cannot expand, but also his army can become very easily blocked. You already have either India or China captured, and then you need to invade someone either to North America or Europe, so your army becomes instantly blocked when you fortify it back. Or if you leave some troops outside of it, then very likely they can be crushed. So I see currently the teaming up scenario happening. The green and blue players crush some troops into me, but to be honest, if I were blue, then I would be very careful with that, as the green player is much stronger than him, so it could really backfire to blue potentially if he doesn't stop at the right time. Well, he stopped and even offered to remake the alliance, and since the green player is blocked, I think most likely he wants for us to capture these big continents again. And to be honest, I would be really down to do that if I were South American player, but since I'm the African one, having one border to guard more. I'm not really sure if I want to. Well, I could not guard against blue at all, but I mean I would probably like to be greedy for now and try having 2 continents combo only for myself. I know it will probably gonna backfire me, but I think it's worth a try, as who knows, maybe the blue player will stay passive. He is the only one with unleashed army from my opponents, so this is why I decided to fortify so many troops on the Icelandic border, while leaving other borders not as much guarded. Well, I see where the blue player is going. He specially unleashed green's biggest army, so I would be invaded no matter what. As if I fortify a lot of troops from Iceland to Ukraine, then I will be invaded by blue himself, but if not, then I will be invaded by unleashed green. So the blue player played very smartly over here. So I don't know guys, I'm not really sure what would be the best to do now. So let me think. I thought maybe I will add my troops to Middle East, then fortifying these 6 troops to it too, as I know I would be invaded anyways, so it's better not let them have the attacker advantage for themselves, and then after just losing 1 troop and with the green player being blocked again, I would have been able to recapture these continents again in case the green player not leaving any troops there. But I changed my decision, and decided with the Icelandic army potentially get a good attacker advantage crushing blue's Asian troops, but at the end the blue player lost only 1 troop more than me from that attack, so it wasn't something great. Well, I still thought that I at least will achieve another goal, of keeping my most dangerous opponent the most weak, which is blue since he is the South American player, but it seems the blue player is as strong as us again. And what I mean by wanting to keep the South American player as the weakest, because he is the only opponent who could expand, so as long as the South American player is the weakest he cannot really expand, and with the Australian player even though being as strong as me, I still have much bigger chances to win because I would be the only player who could manage to expand properly by capturing and holding another continent, then I wouldn't have to worry about the South American player as much. So currently I don't really like that the blue player only captures 1 territory per turn, while the green player tries to capture as many of them. As if I don't recapture these territories, then I let green get more troops than me, but if I keep recapturing them, while the green player doing the same, then the blue player takes advantage since he doesn't waste his troops. So in one way green gets the most troops, in the another one the blue player, so there's no win situation for me when it comes to capturing the territories. So this is why I decided to capture Europe without guarding from blue. I mean I'm not necessarily want to team with blue, my biggest goal is to change the things up. I want that the blue player would get more involved as well, rather than just only keep benefiting when I'm playing Tom and Jerry with the green player back and forth. Or I mean cat and mouse for those who are not aware about the cartoon. The blue player has just captured both of the Americas, so now it's the decision point for me, whether I want to potentially team up with blue, or to potentially steal South America from him. And as you saw I decided to go with the second choice. As who knows, the blue player might have invaded me, as after all I didn't accept his alliance request, nor decline trying to resend it again to find out whether we would be good or not with each other. I was very afraid of the blue player of betraying me in the same way like I did that with him the last time. So not to give any advantage to him, I just decided to invade him straightly. Since I want to take over South America, I decided to fortify my 10 troops army next to it. I didn't want to fortify my biggest African army, so no matter what, I would still be able to hold at least 1 continent. I was really expecting for blue to have a set at 4 cards though, but since he didn't have it, and at the same time didn't even added some troops to South America, I decided to take over it and see what happens. How about the alliance the green player says? I wasn't sure what did he have in mind, but I liked his proposal with me holding 2 continents, so I decided to accept it. And now I see that he decided to work as a shield for me, and that's great. I really like the green player right now. I'm pretty sure he is going to give me a huge advantage, especially with the blue player unnecessarily capturing all these territories to decrease green's territorial bonus. So I like the blue player as well, but I would just really prefer that he would move out of North America, cause I know he would like to get South America back. but as long as I have the green player as the shield, I don't really that much care. But oh no guys, he tries capturing Europe, and I don't really like it at all. I wouldn't like that any other player would start getting quite more troops than me, so I'm not sure for how long I'm staying in the alliance with him. I mean, if he used the troops he is going to get into crushing blue, then that would be great. But I am not guaranteed of that at all. So I'm not really sure what would be the best to do. The situation is quite complicated indeed, and I'm not really sure what should I do. So let's see what the green player does. I'm not sure whether he fortified these 10 troops to Ukraine to potentially weaken me or not, by seeing that I'm getting so much stronger. Alright, the green player fortified his troops next to my border, and I'm not sure whether it's because to protect from blue, or is it because he is going to crush these troops into me next turn, so the blue player could take over South America again. More likely to protect me, I think. But the thing is that the blue player started manual rolling me, and I'm not sure whether he is doing it by his own initiative, or he remade the alliance with the green player to possibly team up on me. So what do I do guys? Well, whatever, let's make sure to keep holding South America 100%. Maybe the green player wanted to team up with me on blue for real, but I really got a paranoia of thinking that players want to possibly team up on me since I was the only one who had 2 on-border continents. So I wanted to be sure that I still keep South America no matter what happens. I invaded green into Europe, but I told him to attack my territory if he needs to, so after all maybe we will still be good with each other. Well, I only expected him to capture Africa but not Africa plus Europe, so if the blue player doesn't invade green, then I will be forced to break the alliance with green. Yeah, I shouldn't let green become too strong. I mean, I could let green hold Europe in hopes that he will use these troops to crush into blue, but it wasn't guaranteed at all, so the safest play was to invade him into Europe. I still need to keep an eye on green. It seems he is getting pretty more stronger than us, but on the other hand he traded all the cards in, while I still have 5 of them. And wow. The green player has actually captured all of these continents including Asia. Nice move, the blue player says. Yes indeed, I agree. So I accepted the blue player's alliance and told him to attack green. I don't expect him to take down whole green's army, but some manual rolls are very useful indeed. To be honest, I think it was a big mistake for the green player to try doing this. He could have just continued holding Africa and Australia at the same time, getting 5 continental troops each turn, but now he is going to get back to holding 1 continent only. In fact, now I will be the one who gets to hold 2 continents at once. Basically we're switching our positions with green. He takes South America from me, while I Australia and Africa from him. The reason why I kept Australia rather than going back to South America, is because the blue player doesn't move out from North America, so because of it I prefer to hold Africa plus Australia instead of Africa plus South America. Well, after I moved out from North America, the blue player moved out of it as well. And I mean, that's understandable, because obviously I'm the strongest player, so they definitely need to keep an eye on me currently, and that is smart of blue. With the blue player unleashing my army, I was considering taking him out with his 4 cards, but I realized it could be too risky. I don't know actually guys, what do you think? Should I have taken the risk, or it's very good that I didn't take him out after all? It looks like a missed opportunity of mine, but I'm not that sure honestly. Let's see what the blue player actually does now. He doesn't have a set at 4 cards, so maybe the opportunity hasn't been lost yet after all. But wow, he gets so good manual rolls. And yeah, I think the game has come back to the balanced state once again. The blue player got really lucky over here. So what should I do now? Do I have a set? No, I don't. So maybe it would just be the best to capture some territories of green. I cannot attack the territories of blue right now, so the green player wouldn't take him out with even 5 cards. It really looks that each of us became very weak, so we should play very carefully. Actually, I'm very glad that our numbers went down. The game less likely will end up being stalemate when we're attacking each other. But of course, if we don't attack each other that much anymore, then we will be having more and more troops again. The green and blue players attacked one territory each, so I don't know, maybe I should do the same. I feel that if I start attacking a bunch of territories, then I will make the target out of myself, so that would be a reason for them to team up on me. Or maybe actually not, when they both play passively, maybe I should try taking the advantage over that by playing aggressively and capturing as many territories as possible to increase my territorial troop bonus. Well, that blitz roll was unfortunate. Shouldn't have done that, it made me cry while the green player be mad. But all good, we all three are equally strong right now. Well, I'm not as strong anymore with the green player recapturing a lot of my territories. Anyways, let's see what the blue player does. If he captures a lot of territories too, then it will be very good for all of the players staying equally strong. But alright, at least he invaded green into Europe. So the green player shouldn't be that much focused on me anymore, right? Well, he even crushes some troops into me. I attacked a bunch of territories of him, so that's totally fine. I think he wants to encourage the blue player to crush some troops into me as well. So I think I could very likely lose if the blue player shows the initiative as well. But alright, the blue player doesn't follow, but captures some territories of green instead. The blue player is the strongest, but if I still attack some of the territories of green, then it shouldn't be too bad, right? I want that the blue player would be encouraged to attack green as well. The green player probably has a set at 4 cards anyways, so I think we should be good towards the balance of the game. Well, to be honest, if I were green, then I wouldn't have continued attacking the territories of red after not having a set at 4 cards, as it could be very dangerous now. I hope the blue player doesn't consider taking over Europe and properly guarding it, or even taking one of us out. And oh boy, I think I know what the blue player is going for. And that's unfortunately right. He went with the decision of taking the green player out for even 5 cards. So I think it might be a good game. Or do you think I still have some chances to win, guys? No, that's a GG. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this 4 Grandmasters battle of the history with these insane blizzards. Congrats to the blue player for winning, he played the best of us. Well-deserved victory. And I would recommend checking out some episodes of these, in case you haven't watched them yet. These are some good ones.